get one?
Hey, we all know Sam. That's literally one of the most common names out there. However, there's one Sam you wouldn't want to know if you're not into lighting jack-o'-lanterns on October 31st. He's someone, rather something, like a punisher, who brutally reprimands those who break Halloween rules. Sam from Trick or Treat by Michael Dougherty is the most devoted mascot of the Festival of the Dead out there, who ends up pulling a Jason if someone isn't following the rituals. It's difficult to categorize Sam as pure evil or completely innocent. Nonetheless, in all his ambiguity, Sam has risen as the ultimate symbol of the haunted holiday, with people putting up his effigy across various countries in the world. So, buckle up, because this video is a tribute to him and his entire life. Anyways, before we get too deep into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to the channel. It's a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Who is Sam? Sam was brought to life as the most terrifying and dedicated executioner of Fright Night by writer and director Michael Dougherty. Dougherty first fleshed out the character in his 1996 short movie, Season's Greetings. His very name is short for Samhain, a festival celebrated by the Gaels, an ethnic and linguistic group. Gaels are mostly native to Ireland and Scotland. Samhain marks the end of the harvest season and the beginning of November, with celebrations starting on October 31st. Simply put, it may refer to Gaelic Halloween practices up until the 19th century. Maybe he is the physical manifestation of the spirit of Samhain. Sam in the 1996 short film Season's Greetings. The short film delves right into the ambiance of the spooky season by throwing in a creepy-looking pumpkin, an eerily thin cat, and an ominous black owl. Slender branches of a tree can be seen swaying before a clock tower. Right when the clock's hands strike midnight and lights start going out in the houses, a small boy dressed in an orange full-body pajama with a white burlap bag covering what seems to be a pretty big head appears. He has a triangle cut out of the bag to help him see, a button for the other eye, and an upward stitch that pastes a permanent unsettling smile on his face. He knocks on doors for treats but gets no response, and in no time meets a man from whom Sam innocently asks for candy. Soon, we see shadows of a brawl ensuing and inadvertently feel bad for the little childlike guy, only to be shocked by the next scene where Sam is pulling his previously empty gunny sack with what clearly appears to be a body inside. However, amidst all this, viewers would also notice the poster of a missing boy and couldn't help but wonder if it was really Sam who's now turned evil. Given this hypothesis has any validity, Sam doesn't even appear to be a human being anymore. He's metamorphosed into something otherworldly and malicious. Over time, Sam was envisaged as someone who ensured everyone upheld the traditions of Samhain or All Hallows Eve, which were set some millennia ago. As a mix of a pumpkin and a scarecrow, Sam represented the dichotomy of Halloween. Creepy yet cute, mostly fun, but a little frightening. Coming to the principles of the festival, they're pretty simple. Firstly, don't be a jackass and think, ooh, I'm too mature for the silly decorations and costumes, because you can be dead sure that Sam will find you and hunt you down for being such a grumpy jerk. The rules are simple, actually. Wear a costume, decorate your home and yard, always give out candies to trick-or-treaters, and never ever blow out a jack-o'-lantern before midnight. The other rules are more about humanity than Halloween-specific, in my opinion, like not to hurt an innocent and always respecting the dead. Oh, also, in case you don't want to be in Sam's bad books, procrastinate and don't even think about taking down the embellishments before November 1st. These rules, so to speak, were established a decade after Sam's debut in the 2007 horror comedy Trick or Treat by the same director. Sam in the 2007 film Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat is an anthology horror film in which Quinn Lord played the role of Sam. The movie received an overwhelmingly positive response and made quite a bit of money. Over the years, it's gained a cult-like status among horror buffs, and Sam gained global recognition. In fact, this movie is where the codes of Halloween have been consolidated by Michael Dougherty, and Sam has been portrayed as malevolent watchman of the season. However, Sam's backstory and his emergence into this spectral force haven't been clearly stated, but we have our 2 cents based on the short film and the consequent directives Sam is so touchy about. Time to connect some dots. Sam's possible backstory. We already checked out the possibility that the flyer for the lost child on the tree is Sam. Now the question is, how did he go missing? From what little we can derive from the film, the boy was an innocent trick-or-treater who was abducted by a dangerous man whom Sam ultimately killed in the climax of the short film. Upon being kidnapped, the boy might have been tortured and killed, and his restless spirit now haunts everyone who disrespects Halloween on the fateful night every year. Moreover, the 2007 film also depicts Sam as someone who punishes the bad guys for harming naive children. This further corroborates his own sad story. Also, if you look at the missing poster carefully, the boy's head also appears to be bigger compared to his petite upper body. Sam's twisted trick-or-treat retribution. In the film, Dougherty chooses to go about a non-linear narrative. There are a bunch of characters, and Sam is present in everyone's life in some capacity or another, and proves himself to be a wicked antagonist in the fourth story. Let's start with the couple, Emma and Henry. If you remember Claire from Modern Family and her relentless excitement over Halloween nights, picture Emma as her polar opposite. However, her husband is a big fan of the holiday, causing Emma to hide her hatred. She doesn't give two fucks about the adornments or keeping the jack-o'-lantern alight until midnight. She goes against Henry's advice, and after he falls asleep, Emma heartlessly starts tearing down the decorations and blows out the lantern before the clock strikes 12. Oh, you've angered Sam now. In no time, Emma is ambushed and slain by an unknown attacker who's obviously none other than Sam. He didn't stop there. The little devil then keeps Emma's mutilated corpse as a part of the rest of the decorative ornaments, only to be discovered by a horrified Henry. Sam was probably trying to impress Henry with such a realistic show of horror, but listen up, kiddo, you're too young to understand the dynamics of marriage. Class dismissed, with a twist of terror. This one revolves around a school principal, Stephen Wilkins. Thanks to him, we started appreciating our principals because no matter how moody they got, they weren't actually secret serial killers. Yeah, you heard that right. Stephen Wilkins was a monster who led a double life as a righteous superintendent. The movie doesn't waste much time in revealing his true nature. When an obese, delinquent kid, Charlie, steals from unsupervised candy bowls and destroys the pumpkin lanterns, Wilkins catches him red-handed. At first, it appears that he's trying to teach Charlie a lesson about respecting the All Saints' Eve customs and offers him a candy bar as consolation. Little did Charlie know that his principal had laced it with cyanide, and soon, Charlie started vomiting before dying a painful death. Wilkins tried to get rid of Charlie's body along with another of his victims. If you're still not convinced what a ghoul of a man Wilkins is, the filmmakers take his criminality a notch higher. It turns out that the second unnamed victim was still alive, and without blinking an eye, Wilkins slaughtered him to death with a shovel and then buried both bodies. However, his little escapade is constantly interrupted by trick-or-treaters, his Halloween-loving kid Billy, and the Grinch of a neighbor, Mr. Krieg. Even when he thought that no one really knew what he did, Sam was always lurking in the darkness, among the group of candy-seeking kids who knocked on his door, noting down every movement of this dangerous man. In an extremely scary twist, Wilkins finds Charlie's maimed head as the pumpkin he and his son were about to carve. Wilkins broke a hell of a lot of rules. He hurt an innocent person, tried to fake his love for the festival, and was aiming for his son to grow up and become a serial killer like him, which seemed likely based on their interactions. There was never any doubt that Wilkins would suffer a horrible end, but we have to look at a couple of stories to see how his fate got tangled with a group of girls. Jack-o'-lantern justice. Next up, Dougherty tells us the urban legend of the Halloween school bus massacre. The story is rather devilish, where the parents of 8 mentally disabled children tip off the bus driver to get rid of them. The bus is filled with innocent kids dressed in their Halloween costumes when suddenly the driver pulls the brake and starts offering them candies. Turns out the kids all have chains around their wrists and are shackled to the seat rods. The driver checks everyone's lock and throws in a candy treat before them. Somehow, the child cosplaying as Dracula manages to free himself and starts fidgeting with the steering wheel in gear. The driver falls down while trying to stop him, but it was too late. The Dracula kid drives the bus into a quarry and the children drown. Trust us, the scene will give you the creeps. As soon as the bus submerged, a jack-o'-lantern, a clown mask, and Dracula's mask can be seen floating. It appeared that the driver managed to climb up but was never heard from again. This incident was narrated in the spookiest manner possible by Macy, who takes his friends Chip, Sarah, Schrader, and Rhonda to the flooded quarry. At first, you'd think Macy is a kind girl who leaves 8 pumpkin lanterns in memory of the deceased, but soon, her and the group's nasty intentions are disclosed. They pull a sick prank on Rhonda, a staunch Halloween traditionalist, and she gets attacked by terrifying figures who are actually just other teenagers in disguise. Macy proves herself to be even bitchier by kicking a lantern into the water when Schrader decides to stop the prank and comfort Rhonda. And then all hell breaks loose. Macy's actions disrespected the actual dead children who now rose as zombies and slaughtered the teenagers. While running to save her life, Rhonda encountered Sam and exchanged a respectful nod with the latter. Based largely on fan interpretations, the leader of the Army of the Dead was none other than Sam, who watched Rhonda's cruel group of friends demean the deceased and harass someone who genuinely loved the Fright Festival. That was enough reason for him to finish off such bratty teens. Okay, let's rewind to Wilkins. The character was inspired by some real-life serial killers including Jeffrey Dahmer, Ed Kemper, John Wayne Gacy, and Andre Chikatilo. So, what do we get? A horrific individual who kills for the thrill and even masquerades while murdering people. After teaching his son some questionable carving techniques, Wilkins sets about in vampire attire to prey on innocent girls. He picks Lori, a simple-minded Halloween lover who was enjoying the event on her own while her friends and sister were out at a bonfire party in the forest. Wilkins ends up bringing an injured Lori to the campfire, and you'd not guess in 1,000 years what happens next. All the girls reveal themselves to be werewolves, including Lori, who kills Wilkins and their dates. Sam observes from a corner, knowing Wilkins got what he deserved. Sam's direct influence isn't shown, but we guess we can assume that this supernatural entity pulled some strings to ensure Wilkins' death. Krieg meets the Pumpkin King. In the last part, Sam finally rises as the main villainous force. Mr. Krieg is not only a Halloween hater, but also uses his dog, Spite, to scare off trick-or-treaters. Sam marked him a long time back, but was waiting to finish off the others before coming to him. Krieg inexplicably finds his lawn filled with jack-o'-lanterns and his house filled with Samhain and Halloween wishes. Sam then jumps on him, and during their struggle, we get to see the creature's face for the first time. Sam's head looks like a mix of a grotesque skull and a carved pumpkin. Sam tries to stab Krieg, but right then, a candy bar falls into Krieg's lap, and he accidentally gives it to Sam. Since Krieg maintained the tradition, even unwittingly, Sam let him go, simply because he had a way darker plan in mind. Krieg ends up dying an even more horrible death at the hands of Sam's zombies who were exacting a year-old revenge. Any guesses? Well, Krieg was the notorious bus driver behind the school bus massacre. We're sure Sam was proud of his undead babies. Sam in comic books. Sam soon left the screens and found a place on comic book pages in stories written by Mark Andreyko. DC Comics released a 4-part Trick or Treat series in October 2009. With the help of some brilliant illustrations from Grant Bond, the issues revolve around the events depicted in Michael Dougherty's film. But Sam looks even scarier here, with a detailed sack for a head, unkempt footy pajamas, and a half-eaten pumpkin face candy bar. A couple of years later, in 2015, Michael Dougherty revived Sam all over again for yet another book, Trick or Treat: Days of the Dead, published by Legendary Comics. Michael, along with a team of great writers and artists, including Todd Casey, Zach Shields, Mark Andreyko, and designers Fiona Staples, Stephen Byrne, Stuart Sager, and Zid, delved deeper into the Halloween lore and Sam's role as the festival's one true warden, paving the way for a potential sequel. In the beginning, we're introduced to a little girl who's too shy and scared to put on a Halloween costume. Her grandpa tries to encourage her by telling stories, and that's how the comic unfolds. The first tale is set in 1640 Ireland, which was ripe with witch trials. A man named Thomas is given the job of torturing an accused witch, but he's clearly conflicted. Maybe he's in love with her, or perhaps it's because the woman is wrongly accused of being a sorceress. However, trouble follows as the woman is hunted, and ultimately, the couple is burnt to death while a young girl gets hold of the mysterious seeds. In the beautiful artwork for this story, we can see Sam both in a glimpse and as a blood-red moon. As the grandpa said, Halloween magic finds a way to survive, and the story somewhat explains how the age-old Samhain found its place in the New World. The second story is set during the Gold Rush era in 1853 in Illinois and involves a small motherless girl named Sarah and her cruel father. When the duo meets some Native Americans and a shaman, Sarah gets to learn about the legend of the Corn Maiden, a harvest deity. When Sarah's father tries to kill the natives using poisoned candies, she transforms into the Corn Maiden herself and causes quite a scene. The sketches are more violent in this one, with red being the dominant color representing destruction and death. We first see Sam briefly, resembling a cloth doll, and then he appears quite a few times running in the cornfields. In the end, Sarah walks away holding Sam's hand. Echoes is the third part of the series, and it's set in 1950s Los Angeles. It revolves around an investigator who lost his family in a drunk driving accident. He's been tasked with finding a missing girl on October 30th, 1955, and catching the Echo Park Devil, who turns out to be the town mayor. The story gets even spookier when it's revealed that the woman who gave him the job was, in fact, a ghost. Sam makes multiple cameos throughout the story, but you have to be really attentive to spot the pesky little guy. Much like Michael's movie, the final installment helps to tie everything together and takes place in the modern world, possibly the mid-2000s. Now, the grandfather tells us about two naughty kids, Rory and James, who destroyed a woman's garden gnomes. Suddenly, a horde of werewolves, vampires, witches, mummies, and even death itself attacks the town. The mischievous kids join them as part of the Halloween gala, and after donning some monster masks, they slowly turn into those creatures themselves. Sam is now shown as a central character who performs a ritual as the chaos ensues. Rory attacks the town priest, who was his father, but as soon as the clock strikes midnight, he stops. Upon removing the masks, Rory is taken by Death, who then transforms into a ghastly being with huge bat wings and flies off. Finally, Grandpa's baby girl agrees to wear her Halloween costume, and we learn that the grandfather is actually James, whom Rory visits every year using some Halloween special witchy woo. Sam in video games. The hellspawn of a pumpkinhead, Sam made his debut in the world of video games pretty recently. In October 2024, Sam was released as a playable character, the Operator, in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone 2.0. Sam was affiliated with the Spec GRU unit. During Season 6 of Modern Warfare 3, which launched in 2024, a player could pick Sam as a part of the Tracer Pack Trick or Treat, Sam Operator Bundle. His biography in the game is similar to the movie and revolves around the same set of rules. Sam's appearances at Halloween Horror Nights. In August 2017, Universal declared that a scare zone based on the 2007 film Trick or Treat at Central Park would be organized at the 27th Halloween Horror Night at Orlando, and Sam would be the main attraction. Here's how the media described the Halloween icon. Sam is large and in charge, and he's going to ensure that you follow the rules of Halloween or else. He was also a part of the Tribute store that year, selling merch themed around Trick or Treat. That same year, Sam also found a spot in the Halloween Horror Nights media event. In the next year, Sam was featured in one of the 10 haunted houses in the 28th Halloween Horror Night located at the Parade Warehouse. Sam was also showcased at Halloween Horror Nights 2018 Scare Zone on the streets of New York, and he took part in one of the haunted mazes. Marvelous verdict. Woof, that was a spooky ride. It's been almost 2 decades, and yet Halloween seems incomplete without Sam. Also, he's kinda cute, not gonna lie. I mean, yes, we understand the wickedness, but Sam never really hunts someone down without good reason. Rather, he teaches a lesson to the bad guys, and at the risk of sounding biased, we like Sam. He's small but a badass. Whatever his origins might be, he's rightfully hailed as the ultimate protector of Halloween rules. Given the kind of mayhem the world is turning into every day, a little discipline could do some good. Most importantly, Sam always reminds us to be kind, respectful, and friendly. He's just trying to touch the hearts of all of us who enjoy the simplicities of life and always keep the child inside of us alive. The child who loved ringing doorbells for candy. The child who couldn't sleep at night and was fussing about what costume to wear and how many pumpkin lanterns to put out on the lawn. Sam is the embodiment of how important traditions are. No matter where you are on the vast planet, you should never get detached from your roots. That's all for today, folks. Let us know your thoughts on Sam as the biggest Halloween mascot ever, because we want to hear them. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one. So for now, thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and have a marvelous Halloween.